Imagine this. You've poured your heart into someone, convinced that grand gestures and constant attention will lock in their affection. Yet, despite your efforts, they start drifting away. You wonder what went wrong, questioning whether your view of love was too simplistic or too intense. In moments like these, it's easy to doubt yourself, to think you're missing some secret ingredient that makes love last. But the truth is, lasting romance has less to do with how loudly you declare your feelings and more to do with the quiet, consistent ways you show them. Love isn't just about big displays or expensive gifts. It's about understanding, empathy, and emotional intelligence. When these elements are missing, even the most passionate relationships can fizzle out. People often assume love is an unspoken connection that will flourish on its own. But without conscious effort and awareness, misunderstandings grow, resentments build, and the initial sparks fade. This doesn't mean you should obsess over every single detail, but it does mean you should be intentional about how you nurture the bond. So, what's really happening when love slips away? Sometimes, it's that we're expecting to get something without offering true vulnerability in return. At other times, it's the simple reality that love needs space and personal growth to thrive. When two people stop growing together, the distance between them becomes a gulf. This silent drift can be more destructive than any loud argument. Recognizing that love requires consistent attention and care is the first step toward keeping it vibrant and resilient. Why love sometimes doesn't last can be summed up in one word: neglect. Not necessarily the blatant kind, where one partner openly disregards the other, but the subtle form that creeps in when routine replaces curiosity and assumptions replace communication. You start believing you already know everything about your partner, so you stop asking questions. You stop looking at them with the same wonder, and in that complacency, the relationship begins to stagnate. Neglect also appears when you rely on your partner for your entire sense of self. By losing your individual pursuits and identity, you create an unhealthy balance where all your validation hinges on their approval. Over time, this can feel suffocating to both people involved. The person who's being depended upon might feel overwhelmed, while the one who's depending can feel anxious and insecure. Love needs room to breathe in individuals who each have their own life, passions, and dreams. The key is remembering that romance flourishes when you keep rediscovering each other. Continual growth, both as individuals and as a couple, injects the relationship with renewed energy. This isn't about extravagant vacations or grand reinventions. It's about small, meaningful changes. Trying a new hobby together or sharing a new book can ignite conversations that remind you why you were drawn to each other in the first place. It's the everyday effort that keeps love from fading into the background. One mistake many couples make is expecting everything to fall into place instantly. Real love isn't a Hollywood montage. You can't skip the awkward parts or the moments of doubt by jumping forward in time. A relationship is a slow unfolding, and that gradual pace allows true intimacy to form. Rushing this process, or assuming you should feel a certain way at a certain time, often sets you up for disappointment. Patience becomes your greatest ally when building genuine intimacy. It takes time to understand each other's nuances, to adapt to new challenges, and to grow individually while staying connected. Sometimes, you might feel frustrated when your partner doesn't open up as quickly as you'd like, or when they need space to process their emotions. But pushing them or demanding instant emotional availability can cause resistance and fear. Allowing love to develop at its own pace also helps you see the relationship more clearly. Instead of idealizing the other person in a rush of excitement, you become aware of their complexities and flaws. You realize love isn't about perfection. It's about compatibility, respect, and growth. By releasing the desire for immediate validation, you create an environment where authentic feelings can blossom without the pressure of unrealistic timelines. How partners process emotions can differ significantly, especially when it comes to romantic feelings. You might crave constant reassurance through words of affirmation, while your partner might show love through acts of service or quality time. Because of these differences, it's crucial to recognize that one size doesn't fit all. If you only speak in your own love language, you might miss the ways your partner is trying to show you how much they care. Communication acts as a bridge between two emotional worlds. If one partner needs verbal expressions of love and the other mainly demonstrates it through actions, both can feel unappreciated unless they discuss it openly. By recognizing and validating each other's emotional styles, you set the stage for a deeper connection where both of you feel seen and heard. This doesn't mean you need to adopt every preference your partner has or vice versa. It's about finding balance. Compromise doesn't imply losing your identity. Rather, it's about adding new layers to the relationship. When you respect how each other processes emotions, you create a safe space for love to grow, free from the frustration of endless misunderstandings. The importance of nurturing the bond between you and your partner can't be overstated. Some people treat romance like a finished project once they've entered a relationship, assuming they no longer need to invest effort. This complacency can lead to a slow erosion of the love that felt so natural at the start. Romance is dynamic, and it requires regular attention if it's to remain healthy and fulfilling. One way to nurture that connection is by celebrating each other's achievements, no matter how small. Encouraging words, a heartfelt note, or a simple acknowledgement can remind your partner that you're on their side. Affirmation fosters a sense of teamwork and shows that you take pride in their accomplishments. When your partner feels supported, they're more likely to reciprocate, creating an upward spiral of warmth and intimacy. Another aspect of nurturing is having fun together. Sharing laughter builds emotional closeness, easing tension and reminding you both that love can be lighthearted. Plan small adventures, a weekend picnic or a spontaneous late-night drive, to break monotony. These shared experiences become memories that act like glue, binding you closer over time. Nurturing the bond isn't about extravagant gestures. It's about treating each other like you're still excited to be together. What really sparks lasting romance often isn't visible to outsiders, but profoundly felt by the couple themselves. It's the subtle way you reach out to hold hands when something makes you nervous, or the gentle back rub your partner offers when they know you've had a tough day. These small, meaningful actions carry an emotional punch far more potent than any grand declaration. Lasting romance also thrives on emotional honesty. Moments of vulnerability, like sharing childhood fears or current insecurities, can bring you closer than all the candlelit dinners in the world. While romance can be about ambience and atmosphere, it's ultimately the depth of connection that cements two hearts together. You might find that the most romantic moments occur when you let your guard down and trust your partner with your authentic self. Additionally, consistency in loving behavior makes all the difference. Anyone can be thoughtful once in a while, but it's the ongoing willingness to show up for each other that strengthens the romantic bond. It's never just about the initial sparks of attraction. It's about the consistent flame that continues to warm both of you. Why chasing backfires is a question many people ask when they feel their partner pulling away. It's natural to think that more effort, more calls, more texts, more physical presence will reignite the spark. But relentless pursuit can sometimes push the other person further away because it smothers the space required for desire to rekindle on its own. When you chase excessively, you risk appearing insecure or desperate, which can be unsettling for the person on the receiving end. Genuine love and attraction flourish from a mutual desire to be together, not from one person pressuring the other into closeness. By trying too hard to force connection, you inadvertently communicate that you doubt your own worth and the value of the relationship. The healthier route is to focus on personal growth, respect boundaries, and maintain open communication. Show your commitment by being reliable, supportive, and understanding, but don't try to trap the other person in a relentless pursuit. You'll find that when you step back just enough to let them breathe, you give them a chance to move toward you willingly. This genuine pull is far more powerful than any push you could orchestrate. The impact of emotional distance in romance can be both a warning sign and a catalyst for change. Sometimes, stepping back offers a fresh perspective. It gives each person room to evaluate what they truly want. If there's genuine affection and respect at the core, a brief period of distance can reignite appreciation for what you share. However, if one or both partners have been taking a relationship for granted, the distance can highlight those underlying issues. Being emotionally distant can also create fear and uncertainty, prompting partners to think about their priorities. It might seem counterintuitive, but a little longing can remind you why you value each other. That said, an extended period of emotional or physical distance without communication can erode the bond, making it harder to rebuild trust and closeness later. The difference lies in whether the distance is intentional and communicative or simply neglectful. A short break to clear your thoughts or focus on personal growth can be healthy, as long as you express your reasons and plans to reconnect. But shutting out your partner without explanation often leads to confusion and hurt. Clarity and honesty help ensure that distance doesn't become permanent damage. How to respond when your partner opens up or tries to reconnect is critical. Maybe they've been quieter lately, and suddenly they're reaching out. Or perhaps conflict drove you apart, and now they're offering an olive branch. Your reaction in these moments can either solidify the renewed connection or push them away for good. First, give them space to speak. Whether they want to share frustrations, fears, or hopes, genuine listening is essential. Instead of planning your counterpoints, focus on really hearing what they feel and why they're reaching out. Remember, it's a vulnerable act to break silence or to take the first step after conflict. By respecting that vulnerability, you lay the groundwork for deeper trust. Once they've opened up, respond with empathy. Acknowledge their feelings, clarify any misunderstandings, and be honest about your own emotions. Avoid turning the discussion into a debate about who is right or wrong. Instead, treat it as a chance to realign your perspectives and needs. If your partner senses that you're genuinely receptive, they'll be more likely to keep communicating, which strengthens the relationship overall. Why confidence is key in love isn't just a cliche. A healthy sense of self-worth ensures you're entering a partnership as a complete individual, not someone who needs another person to feel whole. When you feel confident, you don't cling out of fear of losing your partner, and you don't feel threatened by every small disagreement or temporary shift in affection. Confidence also influences how you set boundaries. If you trust your own value, you're more willing to speak up when something bothers you, and you're less likely to tolerate disrespect. This clarity about what you deserve fosters respect from your partner. Conversely, if you struggle with self-esteem, you might allow behaviors that chip away at your well-being, fueling resentment over time. True confidence is not about arrogance or dominating a relationship. It's about staying grounded in who you are, being open to learning, and embracing the certainty that you can navigate the ups and downs of love. With confidence, you create a solid foundation where both partners can feel secure in themselves and, in turn, more secure in the relationship. Staying true to yourself in a relationship doesn't mean refusing to compromise. It means retaining your core values, interests, and aspirations while embracing the shared life you and your partner are building. When you lose your sense of self, you risk turning the relationship into a constant negotiation of needs, with no anchor to guide your personal fulfillment. Every healthy relationship allows room for individuality. Your partner fell in love with you because of who you are, not who you might morph into when you believe it'll keep the peace. By maintaining personal interests and boundaries, you keep the dynamic interesting. You avoid the pitfall of becoming so merged that you can't tell where one person ends and the other begins. Love thrives where there's a balance of closeness and healthy individuality. Ultimately, staying true to yourself ensures your relationship is built on genuine connection rather than pretense. When you show up as your real self, you're giving your partner the chance to love you honestly, flaws and all. This authenticity fosters trust and respect, creating a bond that can withstand the challenges every couple inevitably faces. After all, love is meant to be a partnership between two whole people, each adding their unique spark to the relationship. Thank you for reading. If you found these insights on romance helpful, consider sharing them with someone who might benefit. Keep in mind that real love isn't about playing games or trying to mold yourself into someone you're not. It's about genuine connection, consistent effort, and the willingness to grow both individually and together. Remember, the best relationships aren't about finding someone to complete you, but about two complete people choosing each other every single day.